What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Harry the Horse Barbecue, and today I'm going to show you how I made these pork jowl bacons. Come check them out.
Harry the Horse Barbecue.
Alright, y'all, and what you're about to see in this video is primarily borrowed from my homemade smoked bacon video. I'll link it up top. The cure is exactly the same cure that I use in that video, but I think that we found something that might be better than actual bacon. So stick around throughout the entirety of the video because this bacon was killer. Alright, y'all, here we go with our bacon cure. We've got about 400 grams of kosher salt in a bowl, and on top of that we're going to add 200 grams of granulated sugar. We've then got about 60 grams of pink curing salt. From there I'm going to add about 15 grams of a roasted granulated garlic. I'm going to add about 15 grams of toasted granulated onion. About another 15 grams of a coarse black pepper. About 5 grams of a pure maple sugar, just for a different sugar flavor. We're going to add 5 grams of some herbs de Provence. And just going to eyeball some pepper flakes here. And every time I added the seasoning to the bowl, I was hitting the tare button on the scale, so it just started to measure from 0. Here you go, you mix this up, and you've got a big old batch of bacon cure. Alright, y'all, we got our pork jowls from Porter Road, and these pork jowls were looking great right out of the package. You could see how fatty they are, and they're not going to be big, so they're not going to take that long to cook. All I wanted to do to get these started was kind of round them out, take off any sort of loose edges or anything that was kind of jagged or irregular, and I just wanted to make sure nothing burned up on the cooker or anything like that during the smoking process of this bacon. So just trimming both these pork jowls up, making sure they're nice and aerodynamic. Now I'm laying them on what just looks like a sheet tray, but there's a scale underneath, and I am weighing out the mass of both of these pork jowls and writing that mass out in grams on a little sticky note on the side, so I know the mass of both of these pork jowls. And here's the actual numbers. So the first pork jowl weighing about 289 grams, the second pork jowl weighing about 321 grams. And the point of this is so that I can take 3% of that mass and know how much cure that I'm going to use on each of these pork jowls. So you can see I need to use about 8.67 grams and 9.63 grams respectively for the pork jowls. So I go ahead and weigh out both of that bacon cure for both of the pork jowls. There's the first one, weighing out the mass of the amount of cure that I'm going to need for the second pork jowl, and we're good to go. From there, all we got to do is rub the bacon cure on our pork jowls. We want to make sure we completely cover the pork jowl in that cure, all over, front, back, top, sides, you name it. And we're going to let this bacon cure just sit on these pork jowls for about 7 days. Once it's nice and rubbed in, I'm eventually just going to move this over into a zip top bag. You can vacuum seal this if you'd like. I don't have a vacuum sealer, so into a zip top bag, get all the air out, or at least as much as you can, and let this sit in your refrigerator for about 7 days. Shout out Mom for being in the video, and we'll check back on these 7 days later. Here's our pork jowls ready 7 days later. Now, if you've seen our video on how to make bacon or our Chuds BBQ inspired bacon, this is the same exact cure, different cut of meat. If you've never had pork jowl bacon, it is next level. It is so fatty and delicious. Awesome cut. I've only had it once, never made it before, but this is gonna be prime time, especially after that bacon that we had. It's gonna be next level good. We're gonna rinse the cure off, but you can see here, nice and fatty cut. They've firmed up a bit. We're gonna wash some of this cure off and hit it with our rub. Let's pat them dry, just a little bit. Bada bing, bada boom. Almost bada boom. And similar to our how to make bacon video, we're gonna hit these with the same exact rubs. We're gonna do a coarse black pepper on one, some Church Holy Gospel on the other. If you haven't checked these out, coarse black pepper, staple, Church rubs. Haven't tried them all yet, but this Holy Gospel is something else. Let's get after it. Just a little sprinkle over the top. Again, tiny cut of meat. Don't want to go too crazy with it, but that's looking pretty good. Holy Gospel time. Nothing to it, y'all. We're gonna smoke these up until they hit about an internal temperature of around 150. Low and slow on this one, going from about 200 to 250 degrees. We're gonna get these out on the cooker. Let's get it. Pork jowl's ready, nice and seasoned. Gonna make some super delicious bacon onto the smoker. Same thing with our other bacon. We're rocking anywhere from 200 to 250 degrees until these pork jowls hit about 150 internal. We'll bring you back once they're looking smoky, delicious, little barky, nice and fatty. Let's close it up. We gonna rock this one out. We're killing the game here. We coming for you. All right, y'all, time to take the temperatures on our pork jowl bacon. See what we're looking like. Looking about 165 in the dead center, 165 on this one. So a little bit over our target temperature of 150, but I'm not mad at it because these have so much fat that it's kind of good to render out some of that extra fat at a higher temperature. See all that pepper on there. Nice and glistening. We're gonna chill these down, wrap them in some cellophane, and then we're gonna cut into them and have some really killer pork jowl bacon. This stuff is fatty and delicious. Come check it out. So if you're unfamiliar with pork jowl, these come from like the cheeks of the pig, and it's a pretty uncommon cut. But one time I had pork jowl bacon and it was phenomenal. Super fatty, super delicious. Now it's time to slice this up, and I think the best way of making bacon is actually rendering it in the oven. So we're gonna cut this up, render it down, make some breakfast with it, and enjoy it. Now, if you're looking at where you can get some pork jowl, Porter Road has one pack, comes with 2 pork jowls, 10 bucks. Are you kidding me? That is a legit steal. So I got my 2 pork jowls, my pepper pork jowl, my Church pork jowl. We're gonna slice these up. Here we have our perfect little piece of pork jowl bacon. Very, very fatty on these, but who doesn't love a fatty bacon? And here's our Church rubbed pork jowl bacon. Looking great. Let's line these up on our sheet tray and get them in the oven. Now, if you wanted to, you could throw this on a rack. You can cook it up in a pan. I like the low maintenance of the oven. Gets a good, nice, even heat around the bacon and renders it down very well. I can guarantee you that once I pull this out of the oven, this is gonna be swimming in a pool of rendered pork fat. All right, y'all. Pepper bacon, Church bacon into the oven set at 350. We'll bring you back when we make some breakfast. Always remember, drain your bacon. Look at that crispy, thick cut pork jowl bacon. Ooh, buddy. Let's assemble breakfast. We all know breakfast is not complete without a little hash brown side. Got some tater tots here. Let's dig in. This is a breakfast that I love to have on a nice Saturday, Sunday, doesn't matter the day. But let's try out some of this bacon. Here is our pepper bacon. Let's get after this. Oh my gosh. That's some good, solid, smoky bacon. Man, that flavor is awesome, super fatty. The fat is nice and rendered down. Look how crispy this one's looking. This is the meat church. That is awesome. This bacon's crazy. They're like little nuggets too, so like you just keep getting addicted to them, and then you just want to keep popping them in your mouth. If you've never tried pork jowl bacon, this is the recipe to try. Can't forget the coffee. All right, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to Harry the Horse Barbecue. This was an awesome experience making this bacon, and you gotta give this a try at home. It's killer. If you like what you saw in this video, hit that thumbs up button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel below. Come on, guys, I just spent like 9 days making bacon for y'all. You can hit that subscribe button. You also can follow me on Instagram at Harry the Horse Barbecue. Love to see what you guys are cooking up. I've got a big old plate of breakfast to eat. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out. This bacon is good.